I wanted to call you in here to apologize to you.
Apologize?
Yes.
You?
I want to apologize
McMahon.
to you.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right, go ahead.
Listen, you're Mick Foley.
Yes.
Okay, you are a legend in WWE. You're a 3-time world champion, the first ever hardcore legend. The sacrifices that you've made throughout your career, including your ear. And I think you even finished that match. It's absolutely remarkable the lengths that you would go. You would stand up in the face of adversity and fear, and that is the Mick Foley that I hired to be my general manager of Monday Night Raw.
Steph, that's amazing, but that's a pep talk.
That's not the Mick Foley that I got. 17 years ago, my husband ended your career. On this very night, 17 years ago.
Right there.
And I'm not apologizing for that. Every year, Triple H seems to get stronger and stronger, while you, Mick, you do the opposite. You just seem to get weaker. I mean, I don't think that I calculated just how far you have fallen from grace into the abyss of despair and misery. You're a shell of yourself, Mick. I know you don't measure up to my expectations, but now I think you don't even measure up to your own expectations. I don't know what you see in the mirror when you look at it every single morning. The only thing I can think is that you recognize with every step you just get more feeble and more pathetic. So, Mick, I apologize from the bottom of my heart that I put you in this position, that the man who could stand up against anyone and anything can hardly even stand at all.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 44 of the Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast. It is Tuesday, February 28, 2017. It's the final day of February. Can't believe it. It's going to be March this time tomorrow, so depending when you guys get to listen to this podcast, I appreciate your guys' support. And always, if you're a fan of what I'm doing here with the Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast or on the Pipe Bomb with McCool and Company, spread a word about it. Tell a friend about it on social media, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, or Snapchat, or Tinder. I don't care. Your guys' feedback and support means the world to me, and it's the reason why I do this podcast for you every single week. We got a fun show for this week as always. We got to talk about Fastlane, which is coming up this Sunday on the WWE Network, live from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is the first pay-per-view Milwaukee's had since Elimination Chamber 2012. The reason why I know that, because I was at that show. So, got a lot of things to get into. We got Monday Night Raw coming from my hometown of Chicago this Monday. So, in spirit of that, and we're on the road to WrestleMania. When I used to do the Pro Wrestling Experience, I used to re-air classic WrestleMania promo segments that signified the builds to those particular rivalries going into those manias. And it's a good retrospective type of thing. It gives you context of why some of these talking segments happened in the first place. So today, and on this week's podcast, as a treat from me to you, I'm going to be re-airing the first time John Cena and The Rock were in the ring at the same time. It was March 28, 2011 from the Rosemont Horizon. I'm not calling it the Allstate Arena. I'm going to re-air that segment for you guys today, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll play that in the middle part of this podcast. We got to talk about SmackDown. Tonight we got Luke Harper versus AJ Styles, the winner to take on Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. Still more rumor and innuendo in regards to the WrestleMania card. You guys know me. I am not a rumor or innuendo type of guy. some plugs out of the way before we get to our monologue this week. You can follow me on Twitter at NotoriousJoshi. Make sure to follow the Pipe Bomb's new Twitter account, the Pipe Bomb NIA. NIA standing for New Age Insiders. Of course, the Great New Age Insiders Network. And you could subscribe to our show, The Pipe Bomb, on the NAI Network on iTunes. That's pretty simple. And you can also subscribe to this podcast on iTunes as well. I'm going to try my best to make sure to get this podcast on iTunes. We've been dealing with some storage issues and et cetera, et cetera. Podmac wants you to pay a monthly fee for the stuff, and I think it's kind of ridiculous. So, in the meantime, you can always check out all our previous episodes of the Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. It's pretty simple. You go over there and do that. So, what's on my mind this week? You know, I'm sitting here thinking back about what's going on in the world of wrestling, and we got all this crazy hoopla and rumor and innuendo about this year's WrestleMania, just like any other WrestleMania, but also what's going on outside the WWE. And we got some major news that came out yesterday. Not only is Drew Galloway taking his talents away from TNA, he's gone, but the sole reason why TNA was gaining momentum for the past year and a half, the Broken Hardys, they're gone too. You know, I feel really bad about this. I really do, because I dread a lot of times covering Impact. There was a Nimrod a couple weeks ago who had the nerve and the almighty goal to say that he was the greatest play-by-play commentator of all time. And all I have to say is, Josh Matthews, go home and stay the fuck home. Just when you think TNA is about to grab some momentum, it goes down to the shits. So Jeff Jarrett is now back being the lead horse of TNA alongside the Anthem partners. Dutch Mattel's back as creative. The Hardys are gone. Drew Galloway is gone. Josh Barnett is now in the world title picture. Bobby Lashley is again for the 6 millionth time the TNA world champion. You know what's funny about this? Like, everybody goes on their soapboxes about the WWE all the time, and whether it's fair or foul. I look at this, man. You could complain about 3-hour Raw, but I regret covering Impact Wrestling every single week for 2 hours. That's how I feel, man. There's some matches that I enjoy and some feuds here and there that I like, but it's terrible, man. It's really, really bad, and it's time to call it for a day. I keep saying it all the time, but to keep adding on and bringing back all these people from the past in regards to the behind the scenes, it's not going to change anything. The foundation of Impact Wrestling, TNA, or whatever you want to call it, is broken. See the pun right there? Broken? It's broken and it's not going anywhere. So TNA, going forward, you will always be rendered obsolete. Fade away and classify myself as obsolete. You fade away and classify yourself as obsolete. So, there goes that. I got a couple questions from a couple of friends of mine that I do the sports drive with. And by the way, if you guys ever have any wrestling-related questions, you can send me a question or an email at JoshLopezWWE94@gmail.com. By the way, if you'd like to be a business partner of the Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast, you can send an email to JoshLopezWWE94@gmail.com using the subject line advertising. And also, we re-air these podcasts every week on Arena Sports Network as well. So, Stitcher, Audio Boom, iTunes, Arena Sports Network, YouTube. There's a lot of places to get this particular podcast, and we need to spread a word about this bad boy because we are changing the game of pro wrestling podcasts. We're going to get into SmackDown a little bit. Of course, I got to talk about Monday Night Raw last night from Green Bay and my thoughts on the never-ending CM Punk chants. That's going to be fun. I'm dreading that. I'm in a good mood, man. I'm really rocking and rolling, keep on this grind of over 10 hours of wrestling media a week. Doing the podcast. I got to be part of Universal Chatter last night with Brother Carter, Derek Salvo. You can follow him on Twitter at Derrico06. He's a great guy. I had a blast with him. Now to these questions here. First one from my good brother Andrew Browning, the Brownie Master. You can follow me on Twitter at Brownie Master. Andrew's the bowling master of the Sports Drive. That's our running joke here when we do my sports talk show. I do Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays on my YouTube channel. So I'm pulling up the question right here. How will the ending turn out for Fastlane and what to expect for WrestleMania? I do expect Kevin Owens to still be the Universal Champion. I'll explain later on in my predictions for Fastlane as we close out the show. But I do feel that Kevin Owens will walk out of Milwaukee as Universal Champion, and I don't think it's going to be that obvious that Goldberg's just going to squash him as everybody makes it out to be. Just when you think something's going to happen, it goes the other way around, and it's been going that way for the past couple of years. Just when everybody thought Roman Reigns was going to beat Kevin Owens for the Universal title at the Rumble, look what happened. You know what I mean? So I can see that. The other question I got, good brother from another mother, Justin Hill, who I'll be hanging out with and attending the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony this year with. Justin Hill at Twitter at I am Justin Hill. He asks, what will they do with the United States title? The current United States champion is obviously Chris Jericho, and he hasn't been around since the Vicious Attack a couple weeks ago from the Raw in Vegas. I've said this, and this sort of biased me, especially with the fact that Raw is going to be in Chicago on Monday. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with the U.S. title. It could be anything where he has a match in any of these in between shows before WrestleMania, and he could lose it on television. For example, Chris Jericho could fight Rusev, and that's how Rusev could get back the U.S. title and get some momentum. Chris Jericho could lose to Sami Zayn, and he could become the U.S. champion. There's a lot of options. I do not expect to see Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho for the U.S. title. Now, I'm not going to be upset if that happens, though. It's not my hill to die. You guys know that about me. Maybe if I don't automatically click with something, I'm willing to give it a chance. I'm not one of those people that look at a particular angle and if it doesn't fit my standards, I guess. I'm not going to say that angle is crap, because you got to give things a chance, especially with wrestling. You could think one thing's going to happen and you could assume things, but y'all know about the word. You know what happens when people assume. You make an ass out of yourself. So, for me, I probably think Chris Jericho will come back on Raw on Monday from Chicago, and in one of these in-between Raws after that, he'll lose the U.S. title. So we'll see what happens. We're going to start off here talking about SmackDown Live. By the way, I want to apologize in advance for any chirping in the background. That's out of my control. You work with the elements that you have with, and I didn't want the birds in the first place, so I just want to forewarn anybody about that. So, first topic here we're going to talk about, as always per ritual with this particular podcast, we're going to be taking a look back at last week's SmackDown Live and what will go down on tonight's show as well. So this clip I'm going to play here is from Talking Smack. This is coming up the controversy from the Luke Harper AJ Styles finish from that Battle Royal last Tuesday, and AJ was kind of giving Daniel Bryan a job evaluation type of thing. So I'm going to play this clip here, and I'll give you my thoughts on the controversy from the Battle Royal last week, and where do we go from here? Is AJ and Shane McMahon really happening at WrestleMania?
By the end of next week, next Tuesday, SmackDown Live, you could be walking in with that golden ticket to the main event of WrestleMania.
All you have to do is beat Luke Harper.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
So then why are you complaining?
Because I wanted to get it done tonight. That's why. I like to get stuff done. That's what I do. I have no patience. I admit it. I get it done now. I'm American. That's what we do. We get it done now. We want it now.
Yeah. Well, you're going to have to wait 1 week.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. You know what? I wish Shane were here. I think he would have made a better decision.
Really?
Yeah, I think he would have made. Yeah, listen, let's be honest. You don't make very good decisions when it comes to SmackDown.
Well, look, when it's an impromptu decision, I mean, what's he supposed to do? I mean, we're about the show is just about over. There's not much you can really do but have like a quick reaction.
Renee, I appreciate you.
He doesn't
defending
think quick
me,
on his
but
feet.
It's okay.
Trying to help.
I have a very
He
slow
doesn't.
brain, according to AJ.
I think what separates me from the common wrestling fan or common wrestling podcast host is the fact that when I hear something that's on the table, and I say I'm not a rumor innuendo guy, and you guys could throw your stones at me because I do play-by-play articles at WrestleZone, but my play-by-play pieces are not rumors. It's fact. Sometimes I'll miss out on a particular move that I don't know, but I'll go out of my way and learn it. And I do feel confident that I'm very proficient with how I structure my play-by-play pieces, especially with the moves. And I've been able to gather a good flow of how to transcribe the sequences in the matches and why I have multiple paragraphs for the matches, because I'm showing you the different parts of the match. And also, I say this a lot, breaking down the fourth wall, like, the hardest part about doing my play-by-play pieces is the dialogue, because sometimes, even for me, the promos don't make sense. So, for someone like me, I'm trying to transcribe what they're going to say, and then you're going to have somebody say, oh, it sounds like a 5-year-old wrote this. Well, it's not my fault that the execution on the promo did not come off the right way to either me or you, the viewer or reader. My ultimate goal with the play-by-play piece is to give you the ultimate reference sheet of what's going on with these shows. No backhanded information, no copy and paste bullshit, no rumors or innuendos. I don't even do star ratings. I don't do that. I don't do six stars. I don't give matches grades. I used to do that in the past, and I was like, what am I doing? I make myself look like an ass. What do I know is a B or A level match? You know what I mean? And you can't escape this stuff when it comes with wrestling dirt sheets and rumor and innuendo. It's always right in your face. It's every time you log in on your Twitter account and you follow multiple wrestling people, and that circle is in with fans with their opinions, and you know how it is today. Every wrestling fan could be a better booker than Vince McMahon. Every wrestling fan could pretend like you could set up a super indie show in the WWE and act like it's going to have the same draw and revenue like a WrestleMania. Oops, sorry, truth hurts. How about this? Roman Reigns' backlash is more forced than his push. How about that? Part 2. More on that later. When I log into Twitter and I log into Facebook, I do kind of get annoyed sometimes because you see all this stuff that's kind of clutter at the end of the day. All these reports and all these rumor and innuendo things about, oh, this guy's going here. This guy's going to have a heel turn here. Sources say that Vince is not high on this character. Sources says Kevin Dunn is not high in that character. I've never been behind the scenes of the WWE, and maybe it's different from my point of view. And I know I was born in the millennial generation, and everybody thinks millennials are the scum of the earth, and that they don't have any old school values in them. You're listening to somebody that has old school values. I'm very, very different than most of the kids my age or young adults my age that are from the millennial generation. Yes, we have technology, but I think for someone like me, I have very old school values. I grew up with the majority of my mom's side of the family my entire life. I have diverse families. I come from an Italian and Puerto Rican background. I'm half Italian, half Puerto Rican, for those that want to know. And culture, tradition, and outlying respect is something that's bruised into my body. It's been one of the foundations of who I am as a person. I respect the past. I respect the business. That's why I do the studying that I do for the business the way I do it. Why you guys want to know why I rip Dave Meltzer so much? Because he's supplying a platform for illogical and just bullshit in the world of wrestling. I get it that wrestlers cling to the guy to get attention and get the rub off the sheep from the Wrestling Observer newsletter forum, or whatever the hell they're calling their chat boards these days. It's just, when I see stuff like that, and people are like, well, Meltzer said AJ Styles is going to fight Shane McMahon. Well, Meltzer said we're going to have the mixed tag team match. It gets tiring after a while. It really does. I don't even have to look. I don't even have to click on WrestlingObserver.com to know what Dave Meltzer says. You know how I know what that jackass says? I log in my Twitter account, and the first 3 out of 10 tweets I see is something related to something that Dave Meltzer reported, and I'm using air quotes with that. And I've been very consistent about this. You guys know that about me. You may agree or disagree with my opinions, and that's perfectly fine. But one thing you know about this particular podcast, or any podcast that I do, I'm very, very consistent with my convictions and my stance on things. And I have friends who love Dave Meltzer and mentors who love Dave Meltzer, like my friend Steve Muhausen, and he doesn't understand my hate for the guy. That's fine. This because you like somebody that I don't doesn't mean I can't be friends with you. You know what I mean? I don't agree with everything all our friends from the pipe bomb say. Hell, there's times on the show that me and Matt disagree. There's times where me and Brother Carter will go in a debate. I'm not afraid to not challenge, but I'm not afraid to debate somebody on a wrestling topic. Nobody's going to tell me how to feel about a particular angle off of second-hand information. I'm not going for that shit. I never have, and I never will. Unless somebody's been there and done it like Jim Ross and Bruce Pritchard, I put more stock into what they say than what Dave Meltzer and Wade Keller have to say. It's that freaking simple. You can call me a sheep. You can call me a shill. You can call me whatever you want. I'll put more stock into people who actually did this for a living and are responsible for the work that's been placed in that product for over 40 years, more than somebody with secondhand information. That's my thing. So it all correlates back here to this whole AJ Styles, Shane McMahon thing. Everybody's upset. Oh, this is a waste of AJ Styles' time. Oh, the best wrestler in the world should be getting a more primary match than just the commissioner of SmackDown or Vince's son. I said this on a pipe bomb last week. I don't care who AJ Styles' opponent is at WrestleMania. At the end of the day, it's not a dig at AJ Styles, because I love AJ Styles just as much as anybody, but I want to make this point crystal clear so you guys understand where I'm coming from. I don't care what match is on the show. I don't care what promo segment is set up for the particular show. My ultimate thing when it comes to professional wrestling or sports entertainment is whether or not I'm entertained by the match, whether I saw it 2 weeks already in the 2 weeks ago, when I seen the same talking segment a week before, I want to see if I'm entertained by that segment at the end of the day. It's that simple. I don't care if I saw the match the week before. I don't care if I'm getting secondhand information about how Vince McMahon feels about Sasha Banks or any other of your favorite independent wrestlers or your indie darlings or your IWC favorites. My ultimate thing is whether or not I'm entertained by this. I never looked at wrestling as a sport. And you know why I keep my passion for it? Because it's not the end of the world for me. I have as much passion for this business as anybody else, but it's not driving my mood. It's not driving the way I conduct myself as a human being. It's not driving the way I go to bed or how I feel waking up the next morning. It's not that serious to me. Unless I'm responsible for what's displayed on that program, I'm not going to let it dictate my mood swing. Because if I got to that point, I'm not watching it. There's no point to it. So I'm going to cancel my WWE Network subscription because AJ Styles is not getting what he deserves at WrestleMania. I'm going to unsubscribe to the WWE Network because Dave Meltzer said John Cena and Nikki Bella are going to have a mixed tag team match with Miz and Maurice. Do you listen to what I just said right there? And tell me how stupid that sounds. Tell me how stupid that sounds. And I love to give responses. Like I said, I am not afraid to have a good civil discourse with somebody. People can paint me as whatever they want in regards to this podcasting game, but you guys know this. You don't have to agree with everything I say. That's perfectly fine. One thing you do get with this show is an authentic opinion. I don't care who AJ Styles' opponent is. At the end of the day, no matter what AJ Styles does in the ring, I want to be entertained by it. And I want to enjoy it as it happens. For example, last year, everybody was losing their mind about James Ellsworth. I enjoyed it. You know why? Because James Ellsworth makes me laugh, and I have a sense of humor. Wow, what a concept. Having a sense of humor while talking about wrestling. Not acting like I'm the God's gift of creative booking. I could toss up creative ideas with the best of them. Trust me, I could. You guys could listen to previous episodes that we've done in the past in this particular podcast. But at the same time, I'm going with the flow. I'm going with the journey because that's what it is at the end of the day. We know there's no off season. AJ Styles' booking towards WrestleMania is not dictated by the in-between SmackDown on the road to WrestleMania. AJ Styles is taking on Luke Harper tonight. AJ Styles could win. Luke Harper could win. Luke Harper could win, and you can hear all these podcasts later on this week saying, "Oh, it's too predictable. Oh, I don't know how I feel about a Wyatt triple threat match. Oh, we all know that's gonna lead up to AJ snapping at Shane McMahon. Hey, probably Shane will be on the show tonight." SmackDown's from Minnesota. I don't know how that far it is from New York, but I'm pretty sure Shane will be on the show tonight. There's things to look at and give things a chance while it develops. And there's also times when you assume things, and later on you end up looking like an ass at the end of the day. At the same time, if the execution doesn't work out, if you gave that particular storyline a time and a day, then okay, that's fine. At the end of the day, and I repeat this a lot because it's important, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing with these shows, I'm trying to bring something different to the table. I can say the same thing that everybody else does, but what do you get out of that while listening to this show? You know what I mean? You get nothing out of it. You don't. So tonight we got an interesting show. We got John Cena being a guest on Miz TV. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a very, very entertaining segment. That may be my favorite part of the show tonight. We also got Mickie James versus Becky Lynch in a 2 out of 3 falls match. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be very interesting. And of course, AJ Styles and Luke Harper. I'm looking forward to covering that match tonight. I've been consistent with this. I feel like David Otunga needs to go home and stay the fuck home despite being from Chicago. First I liked his color commentary, and then it just went to the shits. Tom Phillips, you can also go home and stay the fuck home for what you did on Instagram over the weekend. Not cool, bro. Not cool. Besides that, man, we'll see what happens with SmackDown. WrestleMania is continuing to take place and shape. The Usos cut a phenomenal promo last week on the American Alpha, and if you guys haven't seen that promo yet, I plead to you to go check that out. And you know, I've always been a supporter of the Usos, whether they're baby faces or heels. I felt they were really disrespected earlier last year when they had that program with the Club and Roman Reigns. I think it's BS. The fact that fans blocked their way out of the Wells Fargo Center at the Royal Rumble a couple years ago just because Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble match, I think that's bullshit. I think it's classless as us as wrestling fans that you're going to block wrestlers out of the arena that had to travel to a different city while there's a winter storm happening because you don't like the fact that Vince McMahon didn't want Daniel Bryan to win the Royal Rumble match. Really shows how much character you guys have, all right? I'm not putting all wrestling fans in one box, but for the people that did that, you should be ashamed for yourselves. AJ Styles and Luke Harper, I'm looking forward to that. I want to see a little bit more from Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton if they're going to be on the show. Like, we didn't see much of them until the end, and then Bray did that little laugh thing when Luke Harper snapped and knocked out AJ. We'll see what happens with the Dean Ambrose Baron Corbin program. I'd like to see that for the IC title at WrestleMania. I think that'd be really cool. You can put that earlier in the card, and I think a lot of people will be invested in that. Think about this. Baron Corbin makes his debut at WrestleMania and wins the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal to the next year. He's going for the Intercontinental Championship. I think that's pretty freaking cool, so we'll see what happens there. And, yeah, that's pretty much for SmackDown tonight. I'm looking forward to it. I do expect American Alpha to fight the Usos at WrestleMania, and we got to see what's going on with the SmackDown Women's Division, especially now that Naomi's out with the injury. Oh, man, what a great piece of waterfall. And we got to see what's going to happen with Mickey and Becky. We'll probably hear from Alexa Bliss tonight. We got Natalya and Nikki coming out of their awesome Falls Count Anywhere match and the beatdown from Maurice. There's a lot going on with the SmackDown Women's Division as well. So looking forward to it. Just like every week, I have fun covering SmackDown Live for the Zone of Wrestle, and you guys can check that out tonight as well. It's also my coverage of 205 Live. What I'm going to do right now here is I'm going to do a little special treat for you guys. I am going to play the epic first encounter between The Rock and John Cena. After that, we'll transition to the epic segment between Seth Rollins and Triple H from last night's Raw. I'll go into Raw. I'll give you my thoughts on Fastlane. And we'll head out. So sit back and enjoy this piece of WrestleMania. Not trivia, but good WrestleMania flashbacks and good WrestleMania lead-up promos. Here we go. Rock and John Cena from March 8, 2011 from Chicago, Illinois.
Finally, The Rock has come back to Chicago. Back to the city where it all started for The Rock. You see, Chicago is a very special place to The Rock. The Rock competed in his very first WrestleMania right here in this very building. But you see, The Rock, he never admitted this, but that night, The Rock was nervous. The Rock was nervous, but he did something that defined the rest of his life. That night, this arena, first WrestleMania, The Rock decided to bring it. And on that night was the unofficial birth of Team Bring It. You see, The Rock brings it. The Rock's fans bring it. We're all on Team Bring It. Team Bring It isn't just some slogan. No, Team Bring It is a way of life. With Team Bring It, you knock down doors, you kick down walls, and anyone who tells you you can't, you take your fears, your insecurities, your worries, you roll them all up into a ball, you turn those some bitches sideways and stick them straight up their candy ass. when you're on Team Bring It, you go after your dreams. And recently, The Rock has had a dream of his own. And that dream was that he came down in the middle of this ring in front of all of you and he called out John Cena. The Rock calls out John Cena. His wannabe rap music hits. He saunters down that ramp in his bright rainbow shirts, coming out here looking like a homeless Power Ranger. John Cena gets in the ring and he says, "You can't see me." And The Rock says, "Oh yeah? You want to see something, Vanilla Ice? Well, how about you see this?" The Rock's fist to his lips and his boot right to his ass. But then The Rock woke up. Dream is over. This is reality. John Cena, the reality is this. The Rock is here. The Great One is here. And The Rock ain't alone. The Rock is never alone. And The Rock means never alone. The Rock is with the millions of The Rock's fans. And to put it in words you can understand, John Cena, the People's Champ, is here.
This is what I wanted. Rock, this is what I wanted. The Rock is finally back in a WWE ring. Oh, and not just back, man. The Rock is cooking like he never missed a step. Snack down this, jabroni that. If you smell this, Rock, this is where you belong. And do you hear the people? Do you hear these people? Do you hear the millions chanting your name? Rock, years ago when I opened my mouth about you, I was one of the millions. I didn't know why you left. And I wanted you back for moments like this. Moments where there's not an empty seat in the house, because the power you have over people is undeniable. And if you don't believe me, look. If you don't believe me, listen. If you don't believe me, feel the electricity, the excitement that can be brought by only one man. And that man is you, Rock. I'm glad you came back. And man, when you came back, you were smoking. You even mentioned my name. It was like an honor, like a celebrity roast. Like when The Rock makes fun of you, you're in. But I wanted to listen to what you had to say. And in the weeks following your presentations via satellite, I wanted to listen to what you had to say, because everything I said about you, Rock, everything had both meaning and merit. But I wanted to know. I'll get to that in a second. But I wanted to know what problem The Rock had with me. So what I did was I cut through the catchphrases, I overlooked the jokes we've all come to know and love, to find out what problem The Rock had with me. There were lots of them. My color was wrong. You were offended by the way that I talked, because I wasn't raised in a certain place. The type of music I listened to offended you. Oh, this one's a great one. Hustle, loyalty, and respect. Hot garbage, as you said. So apparently, The Rock had a problem with my moral code. And here is the kicker. This one surprised even me. My audience is kids. It is, Rock. And I'm damn proud of it. I'm damn proud of who I am, and I'm damn proud of what I've become. Now, if you have a legitimate gripe about me not working my tail to the bone to further this business, then we got something to talk about. If not, my friend, who in the hell are you? Who in the hell are you to judge me? Who in the hell are you to say I can or can't wear a certain color, talk a certain way, listen to a certain kind of music, chastise the way I live my life, or God forbid, the age of the people that watch this product that I love? If that's what it takes to be on Team Bring It, Rock, you can keep your application. I don't want it. You see, every single week I walk down this ramp as myself. And there are some people that like it, and as you heard tonight, there are some people who don't. You know what I don't do? I don't try to change their mind, because I am in no position to judge anyone. When this is all said and done, I'm going to be judged, but I got news for you, great one. I ain't going to be judged by you.
Oh, yeah. John Cena, you're right. The Rock ain't gonna judge you. There's only one man who judges you. The same one who judges The Rock. That's the good Lord himself. But you damn sure better realize that the good Lord can't save you from The Rock whooping your monkey ass all over Chicago.
You wanted me to address you like a man. I have said everything I have needed to say to your face like a man. You want to fight?
How's your knee feeling? How's rehab?
It's all right, man. You know, the tear to my MCL was a little more significant than the first diagnosis, but it's all right. And, you know, with hopefully me coming back soon, you know, the rehab's been pretty intense. So it is what it is. You know, it's medicine. It's not magic. So it is what it is.
According to Triple H and Samoa Joe, for the second time in 2 years, you are going to miss WrestleMania due to what they did to you. What's your answer, man? Are you going to be at WrestleMania?
Right now, it's not looking great. It doesn't look like the doctors are going to clear me in time for WrestleMania.
You will not be at WrestleMania. Seth, you knew this day was coming. You knew damn well what you were getting into. Whether you want to call it selling out or buying in, you knew damn well what you were getting into right from the get-go. I made you the man. I made you the face of the WWE, the biggest superstar this place had seen in a long time. I made you the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and you held that championship up above your head, and you shoved it in everyone's face. I did that for you, Seth Rollins. I did everything, and I delivered on everything I ever said I would deliver for you, and then you bit the hand that feeds you. I used you up and spit you out, Seth. Look at me, not him. Look at me. I used you up and I spit you out. That's life. Man up. Get over it. Because when I was doing that for you, you were profiting along the way. I used to tell the whole world, Seth, that you were the future. Now you're the past. You're just another washed up, beat up superstar who's worthless. You need to make the right decision here, Seth, because this is the most pivotal decision you will ever make in your entire career. Do not come to WrestleMania. Do not call me out at WrestleMania, Seth Rollins, because I am done playing with you. I am done warning you. If you show up at WrestleMania, Seth, if you call me out at WrestleMania, I promise you, no, Seth, I swear to you, if you show up at WrestleMania, it will be the last thing you ever do in a WWE ring. Hunter!
A month ago, I told your wife I had nothing left to lose. Well, that couldn't be any truer than it is right now. I will be at WrestleMania. And if it's the last thing I ever do then I swear to you, it will be the last thing you ever do.
How about that, folks? 2 pieces of special in-ring talking segments. Could play the full one in Triple H and Seth Rollins because the whole podcast is not based on just promos and stuff. But back here on the show, ready to rock and roll here, talking about Monday Night Raw. Hope you guys join the podcast. As always, just a tip, if you like what we're doing here, leave an honest review and rating on our iTunes page, Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast. Subscribe to it. I usually upload a show once a week, and I'll delete some of them in the meantime to save us storage. But if you want every single edition of the Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast, go to my YouTube channel, type in Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast. It'll send you to the playlist. We have over 43 episodes. Today's episode 44. Next week will be episode 45. Very fitting because it's going to be interesting. Episode 50 of this particular podcast will be either the go-home show or the actual show at the WrestleMania. And we started this show last year, the week after WrestleMania 32. And it's been a fun ride so far. So, again, for me to thank you guys for the support of this particular podcast, and it means a lot to me. All right, folks, let's finish this thing off with a bang. I don't want to keep you guys too long. I like to keep this about an hour 5 to 10 minutes. I like doing this now. It gets you guys going. I know there's so many different podcasts you guys want to listen to, and I want to maximize my time here doing this podcast, and then you guys get to know where I'm feeling on certain angles while you're enjoying this. So, if you have any suggestions, if you want the podcast to be longer, I'll put that in consideration. All you have to do is send me a tweet at Notorious Shashi. All right, Monday Night Raw last night from Green Bay. I'm kind of coffee here because just thinking about the word of Green Bay or saying the word Green Bay makes me want to throw up in my mouth. Look, many of you guys know that I'm a CM Punk guy. CM Punk's my all-time favorite wrestler. I gotta say this, man. The Punk chants from last night during the Seth Rollins segment where he's doing the interview with Corey Graves, that portion of that segment, that one really pissed me off. I held back a lot of anger on the Universal Chatter Show because I want to be respectful to Brother Carter. He had me on as a guest on his show, and I didn't want to be a jerk about it. But CM Punk chants during an emotional segment like with Seth Rollins, a guy who CM Punk endorses, by the way, who's kind of like a CM Punk type of guy due to his background and the indie style that he does. You're going to chant CM Punk while a guy's out there trying to tell a story about dealing with another knee injury. It's stupid. It's distasteful. I don't know what you get out of that. Do you really think Punk was going to come out to replace Seth Rollins at WrestleMania? I love Punk, and I know it's going to get worse on Monday because Raw's going to be in Chicago, and we can't have another Raw. We can't have any WWE show here in Chicago without trying to redo March 3rd, 2014 every fucking time they're here. Why do you think we always get payback and Extreme Rules and all this other stuff? Because, God forbid, we can't have a Rumble or Survivor Series in the city without having CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. Little confession for you guys. This is the biggest Punk fan in the world. I have yet to chant CM Punk once at a WWE show here in Chicago since he's left. Not once. It sucks that he's gone. It sucks. It sucks on his end, and it also sucks on the end of the company too. There's no ands or buts about it. It's unfortunate. It shouldn't have happened. I'm just as pissed as anybody else that he was gone. Yeah, I'm sure the company had its reasons why things didn't work out, but it's also on him too. I didn't agree with every little fucking thing he said on the podcast with Cole Cabana. You know, everybody has their hate about Roman Reigns. It's not because of him. It's not because, this narrative of a guy being shoved down your throat. Raw was 3 hours and 8 minutes last week, and the guy came out for 6 minutes of that show and got his ass whooped at the end of the show. This guy has lost programs to Kevin Owens, whether it was DQ, clean or not, Rusev. He lost cleanly to Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank. He took the pin for Dean Ambrose at Battleground. This guy that's shoved down your throat comes out this narrative because a freaking backstage agent and producer came up to CM Punk while they're setting up their match at TLC 2013. Let's make Roman Reigns look strong. Make sure Roman looks strong. And all that's all Joe Anoa'i's fault. That's all his fault. He's the scum of wrestling. He's shoved down your throat. It's this and that. I love the fact that the guy's being shoved down your throat, yet he's not main eventing WrestleMania this year. Is he the Universal Champion? I'm just as pissed as anybody that Punk is gone. You know why this Punk leaving has brought me to look at these more for a bigger picture and not just cling on to indie darlings or certain type of wrestlers? Because I want to enjoy the whole company. I want to see who I can connect with because my hill to die on wrestler was gone. There's so many people I know that have their horses in the race of why they watch these shows. Sasha Banks, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Bray Wyatt, etc., etc., etc. I don't have that guy. He's gone. And I had to move on. Yeah, I get my cool nostalgia moment every once in a while when Undertaker shows up because Undertaker was my other favorite wrestler than CM Punk. And Punk's not here anymore. This is me, the Punk fan, the biggest Punk fan in the world. You would think, I would be cursing the name of the WWE because of what happened and all this stuff. I didn't agree with everything he said on the podcast. And I know there's stuff WWE done that could have done a better situation, handled those situations better with him. Nobody's in the right in that situation of when Punk left the company. It's bullshit that you sent a FedEx and you fired somebody and they're in a wedding. I'm not gonna defend the company on that. That's ridiculous. I have yet to chant CM Punk at a live WWE show since he's left the company in 2014. Not once. And it's really getting to the point where it's becoming a spin in the face of all these talent. Everybody brings up AJ Lee. We're all big AJ Lee fans. And then when Punk leaves, it's not about AJ and what she's doing in the ring. It's not about her character. It's not about her looks. It's, let's chant CM Punk so we can get Triple H and Vince McMahon pissed off. While spitting in her face, too. She's trying to have a career. She's trying to have a good time. She's trying to get her mind off of what's going on with Punk and the company. And all you Nimrods do, CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. I'm pretty sure it was sooner inevitable that she was going to leave the company because of what was going on. But still... You got to remind her, CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. I can't believe this. This is a couple years ago at the Hall of Fame ceremony. They had Crusher Connor the Crusher, Mahalik. He has the first Warrior Award. And while his father is doing the speech for him, what do I hear in my section? While his speech is going on, CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. It's ridiculous, man. It's freaking ridiculous. I love Punk. He's my favorite wrestler. But you're spinning in the face of all these talent that you do that to. Whether you like the segment or not, you're still spinning in the face of these talents. They're taking time out of the way for their families to entertain you, and they put their bodies on the line, and all you gotta do is chant CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk at every fucking show you go to. And it's bullshit. I didn't want to do this rant. I love Punk. Enough is enough already. And I'm not saying this to the crowd in Green Bay. I'm saying this to my hometown. I'm saying this to every smart mark city in the United States and the entire country who thinks they're trying to make themselves look good and put themselves over as well. We're the edgiest crowd in the WWE universe because we chant CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. Enough! It's distasteful what you did to Seth Rollins last night, Green Bay. And that's why, Green Bay, you are the scum of life. All right. I got that off my chest. We can move on. I thought Raw was decent. I didn't think it was great, good, bad, or indifferent. I enjoyed it as it was. I didn't think it was overly great or overly bad show. I was in between with it. I thought, dude, that was really funny. I'm really looking forward to seeing them as the host of WrestleMania. You still got people bitching, moaning about the club losing matches left and right, and nothing's good enough for them. They could still be the Raw Tag Team champions. Everybody's like, oh, the club's burial party's still going. I wonder if these same people that are so obsessed with the club actually watch their programs at New Japan Pro Wrestling and Ring of Honor, because I can't tell you how many times I've covered a Ring of Honor and New Japan pay-per-view where they lost. Oh, the club, 4-time IWGP Junior and Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. Oh, you guys are treating them like crap. Yeah, well, they did jobs to the Young Bucks and all the other tag teams in New Japan, too. Yeah, I guess you guys forgot about that, too. I really like the tag team match between Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Charlotte and Nia Jax. It does look like that 4-way is going to happen at WrestleMania, and I think sooner or later the boss is going to come out. By the way, Notorious Boss. That's for you, good brother Matt. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, and I thought the final part with... by the way, I really enjoyed the Kevin Owens Goldberg segment that started off the show on Monday. I'm going to play that for you guys as we close out the show this week. It's a very, very enjoyable segment, and it really opens up some scenarios going into my thoughts about the Fastlane pay-per-view coming up on Sunday. Finally, we have Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman closing out the show with their contract signing. I love the passion for Mick Foley. You see more anger and anger for him as the weeks go by. This guy is not going to be a pushover, and I love it. I like what he's doing recently with his segments with Stephanie. That's why I started that with the podcast this week, and it's going to be interesting what the Mixer does at WrestleMania this year. I thought Samoa Joe and Cesaro had a very, very good match on Raw last night. Love to see a program with them sometimes later on this year. It's awesome. And I thought Sheamus and Titus O'Neil maximized their TV time without a lot of airtime. You know, they were only out there for like 2 or 3 minutes, but I like the physicality between those two guys. I like that. That was pretty cool. So that's my thoughts on Raw. I thought it was decent, not great, not bad, not horrible. Nope, terrible. Not a show that needs to go home or stay the fuck home. It's in between. I enjoyed it. By the way, we have this new phrase on the Python called waterfall. Charlie Caruso, Mamacita, you got the Jibarito waterfall. Woo-wee! Woo-wee! Alright, guys, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to give you snap predictions for Fastlane coming up this Sunday live on the WWE Network from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Got Monday Night Raw coming up on Monday from the Rosemont Horizon in Chicago. All hell's going to break loose. Let's do this, alright? Start off with the kickoff matches. We got Rich Swann and Akira Tozawa versus the Brian Kendrick and Noam Dar and Alicia Fox. I'm going to go with Swann and Tozawa. Even though Kendrick and Tozawa are Kendrick and Dar are kind of sleazy and sneaky bastards. I do see Tozawa and Richmond picking the victory there. We got Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. I'm going to go with Sasha in that one. I wouldn't be surprised if Sasha and Nia get involved in the next match when I'm talking about Sasha and Bayley versus Charlotte for the Raw Women's title. Charlotte's winning streak at pay-per-views will not end, but there's not going to be a finish. So I want to make this perfectly clear. I think Sasha and Nia's Raw will come out to the outside during Charlotte and Bayley's match and into no contest, and that's where we get into that four-way at WrestleMania. So Bayley will still be the Raw Women's Champion heading into WrestleMania, but I think the match ends in a no contest, right? Neville versus Jack Gallagher for the Cruiserweight Championship. I'm looking forward to that match. That one could steal the show. I'm going to go with Neville to retain. That's going to be a fun one to watch. Another one I'm looking forward to, we got the Club versus Enzo and Cass. I got the Club retaining the Raw Tag Team Champions. That should be an entertaining match. We got Sami Zayn versus Samoa Joe. That's going to be a lot of fun. I know you guys are going to be interested in that just as much as I am. I think Joe will win that one, obviously. There's some rumors and innuendos I saw on Twitter this morning saying that Finn Balor is going to show up sometime soon. I think Finn Balor will come out on the Raw in Chicago on Monday, so I can't wait to see that. I'm going to go with Samoa Joe to win here. He needs a victory, and they're going to regain momentum with him. And the guy's been kicking ass since he showed up on Raw about a month ago, since Rumble. Now, think about this. A month later now, here we are at Fastlane. Are we still pissed off that Samoa Joe was not in the Royal Rumble match? I'm just curious. I'm just tossing out that question out there. And then second to lastly, we got Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. Look, folks, you guys know me. I am a Roman Reigns fan. I love his matches. He's not my favorite wrestler on the roster. I love what's going on with Braun Strowman. He's whooping ass. I do not feel that The Undertaker is going to be fighting Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, contrary to popular belief. I haven't got enough hints to that. I get it that Roman Reigns eliminated him at the Royal Rumble. Undertaker said it a few months ago, WrestleMania will no longer define his legacy, so why is he going to go after Roman Reigns if his WrestleMania legacy is not defined by his whatever match he's doing at the pay-per-view? So I see this match ending in a DQ. I won't be surprised if Roman wins cleanly. I don't know if that negatively hurts Braun Strowman or not. I don't look at it that way. I'm looking forward to this match. I think they have the possibility to see him on the show. Hey, people were scoffing at Big Show and Braun Strowman a couple weeks ago, and everybody was loving it. I think these two could have a great opportunity to do that as well. You see the reaction these two got brawling at the end of Raw last night. And Let's Go Roman Chants was going on as well. And both Roman and Braun were fighting recently at the Raw Tour of Germany this past week. And think about that. The talents are busting their ass for you guys, just coming off a 4-day German tour with no days off. That's crazy. So, finally, Kevin Owens versus Goldberg for the Universal Championship. I've been saying this, and I'm keeping to my guns in this one. I'm saying that Brock Lesnar is going to cost, repeat, Brock Lesnar will cost Goldberg the Universal Championship. All right, guys? I believe that. I believe that. I believe that. Kevin Owens will retain the Universal Championship. I do think that's going to happen, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the match. I won't be mad if Goldberg wins the Universal title because it'd be cool. I know my Uncle Chris is a big fan of Goldberg, so that'd be a cool moment for him. Seeing him back in Chicago for the first time in a while. I know my Uncle Chris got a chance to see him live in person at WCW shows in the past, and it's going to be a lot of fun seeing him at Raw at Monday. That's going to be a lot of fun. Goldberg's the man. I'm really looking forward to covering this pay-per-view on Sunday. If you guys don't know, I will be doing the play-by-play piece for Fastlane for WrestleZone.com. That's going to be a lot of fun. And with that, that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the pay-per-view. More importantly, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed that little Punk chant rant towards the end of the show. Now I'm going to go sit back, simmer down a little bit before I have to cover SmackDown at 205 Live. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast this week. As always, I'm going to air the Kevin Owens Goldberg promo after I'm signing off here. So let's get into the plugs. I'm at Twitter at NotoriousJoshie on Twitter. Follow me. I'll follow you back. All I ask is to not be a Nimrod. You can follow my other podcasts that I do, The Pipe Bomb with McCool and Company, is at Twitter at The Pipe Bomb NAI. Also, check out my play-by-play pieces for WrestleZone.com. Like I said, SmackDown Live, 205 Live tonight, and then Impact on Thursday, and then Fastlane on Sunday. So 4 big articles this week. And that's pretty much it. Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Leave an honest review and rating. 5 stars or 4 stars helps us get our name out there to the peeps that want to listen to a different style of wrestling podcast. That's my goal. And with that, we're out, man. As always, if you ever have any questions for me, you can send me a tweet at NotoriousJoshie or send an email to JoshLopezWW94@gmail.com with the subject line question or advertising. So thank you guys so much for checking out the podcast. It's been a lot of fun today, and we'll talk to you next week, and we'll see what happens on Fastlane, and I'll tell you my thoughts on my time at Monday Night Raw in Chicago. So thank you guys so much for listening to this week's podcast. Tell a friend about it. That's all I can ask. And I love doing this podcast for you guys. It gets me motivated throughout the rest of the week. And I hope you guys enjoy it. So enjoy this Kevin Owens Goldberg piece of audio for the opening of last night's Monday Night Raw. And I'll talk to you guys next week. Enjoy Fastlane, everybody.
Yeah, there it is. There's the chant. There's the chant that has followed Goldberg everywhere he went his entire career. There's the chant that makes Goldberg think he's invincible. There's the chant that makes Goldberg think everyone believes the hype. Well, guess what? I don't. In fact, I never believed that hype. Even when I was a kid and Goldberg was running through everyone in WCW in mere seconds, I didn't care. Now, Goldberg never impressed me. Not back then, not now, not ever. Oh, but Kevin, what about how he embarrassed Brock Lesnar and beat him in a minute and 26 seconds or whatever the hell it was? Yeah, well, that only happened because Brock Lesnar took Goldberg lightly and Bill got lucky. But that sure as hell won't happen to me at Fastlane because I know exactly what to expect and what to do. See, because it's a known fact that the longer a Goldberg match goes, the more the scale tips in favor of your opponent. And this isn't going to be one of those 90-second sprint you're used to, Goldberg. No, this isn't going to be your match. This is my match. And in my match, I don't have to beat you. I just have to outsmart you, and everyone, including you, Bill, knows that in that department, you don't even come close to me. Because I know how to play the game better than anyone else. Bill Goldberg at Fastlane These people can chant for you all they want, and you could stand across the ring from me and bark, "You're next!" all you want. You're just wasting your time because as far as I'm concerned, you're nothing. Now, as far as Chris Jericho goes,